Hi, John McTiernan. It's an honor, a pleasure to have you here in Brussels for the Brussels International Fantastic Film Festival.
Thank
a true legend coming in Belgium. That's really a pleasure.
Yesterday, legend in my own time, yes, of course.
Oh no, you're still a legend.
Okay. Anyway, what's up?
Yesterday you had like a great masterclass. You were talking about your career, many things. I have a first question for young directors who would like to make movies. Your first movie was released in 1986. How was it like to make a movie in '86?
Well, I mean, sure, the technology was different. We had to load film in the cameras, and you had to have more light.
For a young director, like doing like his first featured film, did you felt like that you're gonna be like doing more and more films? Like, was it different? Like, because now at this time you're doing one movie and you never know what's going on. Maybe later it's your first and last movie. Like, how was the industry at this time for a young director?
It wasn't that different than it is now.
Not sure.
No, the money people are always after a young director who seems talented. They would much rather deal with a young director than an experienced one because they can pay him less.
That's true. That's true.
I'm not kidding. You have to be careful about what your first movie is.
That's true.
Because there are an awful lot more people who make one movie than make two. You have to be careful what that opportunity
Only have
is.
one chance, let's say.
Yeah, so, and there are loads of people who will give you a bad chance and you shouldn't take it.
So, now talking about your second film, I would say, because that's something really important also. You're making your first movie. Then, on the set, did you have like signs, realized that you were like making one of the most popular movie ever, like most popular franchise ever made? Did you like were feeling signs? Was it like, okay, we don't know what we're doing? Like,
No, it was just a lot of work.
of course,
But it was all right.
lots of work.
But we just paid attention and did the best we could.
Yeah.
Um,
Concerning the movie, we have like a picture to show you. Like my friend Ben's I'm gonna show you a picture because I would like you. And have you seen this picture? Can you recognize the guy at the
is that Jean-Claude
concerning
Van
Brussels?
Damme?
Exactly, because we're in Brussels. I wanted you to show you this picture because during a long time there was like a kind of urban legend in Belgium. Oh, Jean-Claude Van Damme was on the movie. Now internet came, we saw the pictures and things. This picture was not like released a long time ago. Did you have like any story with Jean-Claude during this awesome set that no one knows? Or
No. Poor Jean-Claude he was betrayed by a very bad agent. He was new in Hollywood.
yeah, really young.
And this idiot agent heard we were making a movie. So he called up the studio and said, Arnold should fight this new Belgian action guy named Jean-Claude Van Damme. So Jean-Claude should play the monster. And poor Jean-Claude, they shipped him down to Mexico. And while we were off shooting, somebody told him, yeah, okay, here's the monster suit. Get it. And
A red one.
we came back and Jean-Claude came out in this goofy, terrible rubber suit and just swore he was so angry.
Yeah.
And he should have been. It was just an idiotically stupid idea.
But that's the interesting thing of it. It's Jean-Claude is still part of a legend of the movie, and he's not on the movie. That's something really like weird at the same time because that was the legend behind the thing. But
Yeah,
after you had like his great.
It was just his agent didn't realize that the monster in the movie is a man in a rubber suit. And that's the last thing you should take Jean-Claude Van Damme to do. It was so stupid. But there are an awful lot of very stupid people in the movie business, and greed causes them to do enormously foolish and deceitful things.
That's a good transition for my next question. Your sixth film, one of legendary film for geeks around the world, Last Action Hero, masterpiece, underestimated at this time, but cult for us. I have a really important question because you're talking about the industry, Hollywood, etc. there's something like coming with the new platforms, Netflix, Amazon, etc., etc. One of the things that we didn't have the opportunity to talk concerning your movie in general, I never heard this thing about the magic ticket. Like, are you like nostalgic about cinemas, theaters as temples of cinema?
No.
What do you think about it? Like, do you think they're gonna disappear? Are you nostalgic about this era of
I'm
theaters?
not nostalgic about it, no. I think there will still be theaters, there just won't be as many. There is a physiological difference, they've proven it. There's a big difference in the experience of an audience, of the experience of a single human being watching a movie in a group of other human beings or alone in their basement.
Like here, for example.
It's completely a different experience.
Totally. Yeah.
There are thousands of pheromones and audio clues that cause people to become more involved. So there should always be theaters, and I think there will be big theaters for special pieces. There just won't be as many as there were 5 years ago.
And,
because of COVID, it just, sort of ended the industry for 3 years.
something was really important about this movie, the way you worked with Mr. Schwarzenegger, Arnold. Because, of course, he's got like a really big second degree, during the movie. He can... was he like okay with the idea that he was playing an action guy and he needed maybe to do something else, or how?
The script is Cinderella.
Yeah.
It's just Cinderella.
That's true.
Arnold is the fairy godmother. And I couldn't make the studio understand that, but, well, he'd made a lot of those particular movies, so he had fun about the movies he'd made. Arnold was like that. Arnold is never sanctimonious.
Yeah.
Arnold is, Arnold could see beyond.
Yeah, exactly.
Arnold already knew he wanted to go into politics. And Arnold has a wonderful sense of humor.
Yeah, you can see it with this scene when he's seeing himself, the real one and the one on the movie. It was really something really powerful at this time for Hollywood, You were the one who was kind of... Yeah, like, because you were the one making the transition with the new Hollywood, I would say, using...
It's funny, because I put all that stuff in where he meets himself.
Yeah, amazing.
And the thing where he says, I don't really like you. I like that.
Yeah,
I don't really like you.
Exactly. And in different scripts, like for example, Predator or Last Action Hero, like there were some taglines really famous, awesome, like "Go to the chopper." Who wrote these scenes? Like, was it invented on scene? Like, because it's so legendary.
Some of them were in the movie. I mean, some of them were in the script. Some of them we made up.
Or improvised on set.
Sure. Well, I mean, we got the idea. We already had the idea that, there were these taglines that people would like. So, when there was an opportunity for one, we'd stick one in.
Transition to another movie, another story, The 13th Warrior, because it was a way also to show like something different, medieval ages, heroes. I loved the version on Hollywood. I know that you answered the question during the masterclass, but for our people audience, I would like to know, where is this uncut version and what are the differences?
No uncut.
No?
The whole thing was just blown. The press had a field day with all this bullshit. And maybe Michael did too, I don't know. But the reality is it's 2 shots. It's nothing. It was 2 shots.
Yeah. 2 shots, yeah. So that was basically exactly the idea of your character, the way he's finishing, etc.
All that stuff, everything.
Yeah.
It's the same movie. He wanted to stick in 2 shots.
Yeah, that's interesting to know.
And they make me feel sick, but what the hell.
I can understand, but it's still a legendary movie for like all the geeks around the world, because it was a kind of also tribute to role-playing games. That was one of the first time that we were seeing like a movie respecting this universe. Before Lord of the Rings, there was no fantasy.
Oh yes. That we respected the Vikings. The whole idea was the Vikings were smart.
Exactly.
Right, and what the whole thing is about was that the Vikings learned that the Muslim guy is smart, and the Muslim guy learns that these barbarians are smart, and they start to like each other. And I was actually, I said in the, I said last night that I was, you know, privately kind of proud that, you know, with all the nasty racist assholes, mostly in the United States, among other people, don't like Muslims. I made a movie where the hero is a Muslim.
Yeah, that's one of the first time ever in Hollywood. And
It's kind of the oldest time.
Yeah. So
I think it's the only Muslim hero in Hollywood.
That's true.
You know, and we didn't hide the fact that he was Muslim.
Yeah.
We actually had him say his prayers.
Exactly.
On camera.
Exactly. The last scene was
and I
so
loved
amazing.
that.
Like the last scene of the movie was amazing because it was like two cultures, two religions fighting together and saying the same things. Loved this vision. It was so cool.
Yeah, I like it. There's a terrible thing that the one thing they did is they hid the fact that there's that woman in the beginning who is the wife of the dead chieftain.
True.
And they hid the fact that they killed her.
Okay. Yeah.
They just cut a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But they just, it's too strong.
Why do you think? What?
I don't know, because they're stupid.
Purpose? Oh yeah.
But that was important.
Yeah. What was the idea that you wanted to input in this?
No, okay. This is this woman who is about to die.
Yeah.
Okay, and she says this poem.
Yeah.
There do I see my father and my mother and right? Okay.
I love this.
She says this as she knows she's preparing to die. This is what she says as she prepares to die. Yeah. And at the end of the movie, all of the men say the same poem.
Thing. Yeah.
Okay, that was the point.
Yeah, true.
They were preparing to die.
Exactly. Yeah, in French, I know also the translation of this whole sequence. Voyez cela, je vois mon père, voyez cela, je vois ma mère. I remember like something, amazing. But even if this scene was not on the movie, I realized that was a kind of.
Well, it was a tiny bit. It's just there's one shot that lasted a little bit longer where, and I think it was clear that they killed her, and the two Muslims there were shocked by it, were sickened by it. But the whole point was it was a prayer to prepare to die. And at the end of the movie, all the heroes say the same prayer. Okay? That was why the audience needed to know that she died.
That's really interesting to notice this thing, yeah. You inspired us because we're making like role-playing games on live action, like in the forest, everything in Belgium. And one day we decided with 12 of our friends to recreate like these characters, and I was making the Arab. It was a good moment a few years ago.
Well, where's your family from?
I'm originally from Morocco. My origins are Morocco.
So your family is Muslim?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, my family there, exactly. Okay. This is why this is the first time in our history of Hollywood that we were like watching a character, a hero that was
well, it's also supposed to say that, that there are white people, European people, who are moral enough to say that a Muslim or a Chinese man or something is their equal, and that even though he does things in a different way, he is probably just as courageous and just as smart as they are. I grew up in about 200 kilometers north of New York City, a small city up there. A third of the city was African American. Okay? And basically, most of the time when I was growing up, they were very sullen. They were angry, and they were treated badly by all white people. And most of them didn't like white people. And I'd been away, because I was off in Hollywood, right? And then Barack Obama got elected. Yeah. Right? And I happened to go home shortly after that. And all the local African American people, their attitude had completely changed, because they were shocked to realize that there were enough moral white people in the country to elect Barack Obama. And all of a sudden they said, hey, maybe they don't hate us. And all of a sudden they were very nice. You know, all of a sudden, you know, you're walking in a door, an old lady's walking in the door, and the African-American kid is holding the door. And you could just see the atmosphere of the whole, of the entire African-American community just went, because they said, oh, they don't hate us, so we don't need to hate them. I don't know.
Thank you for...
I'll do one more question, go ahead.
Are you sure?
It's all right,
Okay.
one more.
One more. It's really short, because you work for video games. You make like some short sequences for Ghost Recon, if I'm right.
I tried to. Some video game people asked me to help them with it, but they didn't know what they wanted in it.
Yeah, but how do you see the future? Like, last question about video games and new narrative people in the industry, not only movies. Do you see something interesting
It's
to
not
do
the same
there?
as telling a story. It's completely different. It's a game.
For you, yeah, for
It's
it,
different.
for-
It's not the same as telling a story, and it will not replace stories.
That's,
It's a different thing. It's a game.
we will not replace stories, guys. Maybe one last thing, John McTiernan.
I mean, I know you're selling billions of dollars worth of stuff, which is as much as there are movie tickets, but there will still be movies.
I agree.
There will still be storytelling. And game playing is all really puzzle solving. It's a different issue. It's a different activity.
Yeah. Thank you, John. It was a pleasure. And,
Pleasure talking to you.